Hey guys, I'm guessing you're here because you have yourself a website or an app and it's time to start tracking your users to see how they interact with it. And you need a product analytics tool to help with that. And today we're going to talk about PostHog. And the goals for today's session is what is PostHog? We're going to integrate it into our app. And then finally, we're going to look at the events that it captures. And then we're going to create ourselves a custom event that it doesn't capture. So you sort that out yourself. PostHog captures a whole range of events, and I've only had one use case so far for needing a custom event, but it is handy to have in your toolbox. So let's talk about first, what is PostHog? PostHog is an all-in-one product analytics platform that you just plug in, and it captures things like form submissions, clicks. It has heat maps, it has session recordings. It is very comprehensive and you have to do very little for it. I'd say it's more robust than Google Analytics, but both have their use cases. I'm just a bit of a PostHog fan myself. So if you are looking to track how your users are using your applications, this is definitely an easy way to get started, but also it just captures a whole bunch of stuff. Stuff that you wouldn't even think about till later on. And then you can create tables and charts and visuals to see how users are using your product and how it's performing. Very powerful stuff. So with that in mind, let's jump in and look at how we integrate it into our application. Okay, it's time to integrate PostHog with our website. So I have myself a website that I'm working on locally, and that is my company ClipFlow's website. There's a bunch of buttons we can push and things to interact with. So we want to track how users are using it. So let's jump into PostHog. This is the landing page. There is a free tier. I would recommend, if you are a company, just pay for it because nothing in life is free. I've already signed up and looks like I am also signed in, so we'll just go to the dashboard. You will become more familiar with this as we go along. My company has already set this up on both our website and our actual app product. And just recently started tracking, so we don't have a whole lot of data just yet. But I want to talk about how we set it up in a project. So we're going to set it up on the website. First things first, you need to go to settings. And it is super simple. They have made it as simple as possible. All you need is the web snippet. So PostHog's configurable web snippet allows you to auto-capture events, record user settings, and more with no extra work. And really that, you put this in, and it starts tracking pretty much everything, all clicks, recordings, who did what, where, with what browser, the whole shebang. Really powerful stuff. And all you need to do is place this script just in the head tags or just above the head tags. So that is literally it. I have blanked out this API key. It is semi-secret. If it starts with a PHC, it means that no malicious activity can happen. They can't start changing your data or writing to your app. But it's best that you don't give it out, because you don't want someone then just enjoying it, copying, pasting it, and then you start tracking their data on their site. So that's why it is blanked out for me. But anyway, all you need to do is copy it. Let's go over to our code. I have set up a PostHog file. I'm using Astro with React components to build this website. Astro is a framework. And literally we're going to go... and just for Astro's sake, I need to do... Oh, God, tabs every... Can you get out of the way? Whew. Is in line. Don't worry about that. That's not why we're here. And the next thing I want to talk about is person profiles. This is tracking identified only. So if the user is anonymous, if they're in incognito mode, or there's just no way for us to know who the user is, it won't track that. Whereas if you write always, you will track identified people and unidentified people, and it'll just be an anonymous user, but you don't lose like number data around like how many people are visiting your site. So I changed it to always, and I think that's quite important as well. And essentially that is all we've done. PostHog Astro, and then I'm going to place it, well, I have placed it in the head of my HTML document. That is it. You can capture specific events yourself if PostHog isn't capturing it, or you can add labels and name it differently. But PostHog now is going to capture clicks, heat maps, record the session, like you can literally see where they're clicking around, page views, page leaves. It will take in UTM params if given it. Very powerful stuff, and all out of the box. So let's see it track a session that we're about to do, just with this snippet in, just this one snippet. So let's go to our website. There's going to be a bit of noise around this, so I'm just going to click refresh, which will be a page leave and page thing, but it should be tracking the session right now. Let's go all the way down to the bottom and let's click learn more. Now that has taken us to a forms app, which is actually live. So I went from a dev environment to a live environment. So that is going to be a bit unique out there. So let's actually see what it did. There's a lot going on in PostHog, so you'll get used to it as time goes on. But let's look at the activity section. Essentially, it's the logs of everything that's happening, just one after the other, and then we can filter as we go. So let's have a look-see, and let's reload. And look, a few seconds ago, Kieran, which is myself at Clipflow, left, so page viewed the forms request access. We go back over here, forms request access. So it actually saw that I went onto this other website, which we are also tracking with PostHog. But before that, we did all these things, and I can tell because it's my local host, my local environment. And it's not tracking who I am in that space because it's just my local environment. But information, page view, page leave. If you remember, that's where I refreshed. Page view, and then button clicked with learn more. So that was me down the bottom, which is pretty wild. If you open up, you get all the information that it has taken, which is extensive. And I know it looks pretty crazy right now, but some of it's fairly useful stuff, which you will find out over the time. So my time zone, I was in Brisbane, Queensland. My host, the device, knows I'm on my desktop. And this is just like a simple button click, but there's a lot more information that you can take out of it, trust me. Let's go over here and let's view the session recording and see what I did. Look at us scrolling all the way to the bottom and clicking learn more. So it's actually recorded what I did and can show you later on. So if you have a user that did something odd, or one of your customers is like, what did I do? I broke this, and you're unsure what they actually did, come back and have a look at it. Pretty powerful stuff. Okay, next up, it tracks tons of stuff. It will track clicked button, text, page view. It tracks when you leave the page. It'll track session duration, all those type of things that you need to know. But what I have found I've found one use case for needing something custom that it doesn't do, which was pretty niche. But let's create a niche event so you can see it work, and you can capture your own things with your own labels if you want later on. So let's just go to my website and let's find somewhere I want to place this. Let's just put it in the hero at the top. So we'll go to Pages, Home, Hero. Yep, looks like I've done it already. And I want to track it's as simple as writing this. PostHog capture. Now, PostHog capture is just saying, capture this event, and I want you to write this as its event name, and then I want you to add these into the information that you're also tracking with all the rest of the stuff. So I've done hero viewed PostHog YouTube series. I've wanted to add in the session ID, and then I'm just going to add a test key and a test value. So maybe you have some items in your session storage that you want to grab out and then pop in there. There's also one more thing that I need to do just to make Astro work. It is not specific to React or this, so I didn't want to include it until I just need to put it in there. Okay, so PostHog capture. So every time, this is not specific, you can target, you can listen for a specific ID, you can target a specific ID on the DOM, you can listen for a certain event and then capture it. So there's a whole bunch of things. All I'm doing right now is if hero renders, I want you to capture this and then put it as that. So let's save it, and as soon as I click refresh, it's going to render the hero, which is right here, and that is going to hopefully fire it. So there we go. I've refreshed it, it's rendered, and I'm hoping it hits. So let's reload. Don't let me down. Oh, there we go. We have hero viewed PostHog series. And if we go down at all the properties, right at the bottom, after all the things that it just catches automatically, you will see the test key with the test value, which was that right there. So you can add it in. This is fantastic. Later on, if you just want to capture like a whole bunch of things from an event, and then you can put it on the dashboard with like a table, so to track it over time, or the amount of clicks, or if you're A/B testing, those type of things work really well. Essentially, it's just fantastic to capture the data, and later you can visualize it, which we will talk about in the next video. So that is all the goals that we were talking about today. We found out what PostHog is. We found out how to integrate it into our application. Super simple. And then we looked at events, and we also looked at capturing a custom event if for ever some reason that you wanted to do that. Last little tip I'll give you for a bit of fun is we can filter. So really good filtering. So let's say I wanted then to filter for the page view. So when someone came onto the page, so let's go filter, select an event. The event is page view. Okay. And now it's going to give me all the page views, but what was the page view that we were on before? Localhost. Okay. And let's have a look at some of the filters that we can do. I want to filter for current URL. So that is these. And I want it to contain localhost. So that means it just has to have a bit of it there. There's perfect. And we have all the page views with localhost, and you can see 20 minutes down to 2 minutes ago. So you can have contain if you want to filter them out. So a great one is if you have internal users. So we have a bunch of ClipFlow users that is using this, and you don't want their noise. You can filter them out. So filter for doesn't contain. You can do a regex match, or you can do if you want something very specific. Over here is also a great little tool. You have filter out internal users and test users. So if you go over there and we check it out, I have already set it up. Where are we? There we go. I have filter out internal and test users. I've said filter out anything with localhost, filter out anything that contains clipflow in it, filter out anything that has our founder in it because he's constantly on there, me, and just another studio. So that reduces the noise. And if you clicked that, we're going to lose all these because localhost was there. So which is a great thing, and that persists even when you are doing like data visualization. You can get rid of those, so all the internal users or all the users you don't care about can be filtered out just with one click of the button. Super powerful, little extra hint for you at the back end. That's it from me today, so I hope you have yourself a good day. See you later.